Welcome to my YouTube channel and Happy New Year, guys. And this is my first video in 2026. So from this video, I'm going to talk about identity shifting because it is the best thing that we can ever do in this new year, right? So let's get started. So before we get started, let me tell you something that might annoy you. You are not lazy, you are not broken, you are not lacking discipline. You are very loyal, you are loyal to your identity, the identity you picked years ago, and you never questioned why you picked that. And your brain is doing exactly what you train it to do. So, most people think that productivity is about discipline, is creating discipline and being disciplined. Waking up earlier, pushing harder, trying again and again. That sounds very logical, but it's also wrong. So discipline does not create identity. Please understand that. Identity creates discipline. So your brain does not wake up asking how to become or how to make you successful. It wakes up asking one question: how do I keep things consistent? Not happy, not fulfilled, just consistent. So if you have been calling yourself lazy since school, your brain treats that label like a job description. Every day it works overtime to perform so well. And that is not failure, that is efficiency. And now let's see why our brain defends our old identity. So here's the uncomfortable science part explained very simply. So your brain hates uncertainty more than it hates the pain. So a familiar negativity identify feels safer than unfamiliar positive one. So I hope you guys can understand this really big. A familiar negative thought identify and feel safer than an unfamiliar positive thinking. So as an example, when you say, I am bad at focusing, your brain goes into evidence collection mode, right? Evidence collection mode. It notices every distraction and every thought, right? So it ignores every moment you tried. It builds a case, a scenario, a file, like a lawyer preparing to the court, right? And when you fail, your brains say that, see, I told you that I am not good at this. I told you that I am bad at focusing. At least we are consistent. This is why motivation never sticks. You are trying to act against an identity your brain is born to protect. So for this, what we can do is changing our self-talk. I always tell you guys the dangerous power of self-talk, right? So here's the part that nobody tells you. So self-talk is not just emotional or spiritual or anything. It's instructional. So when you say, I am not productive, your brain hears that and your brain listens to that. And do not invest energy in this negative self-talk. When you say, I always mess things up, your brain hears that and it expects failure. So now you're not describing yourself, you are programming yourself. So the story that you tell about yourself becomes a self-fulfilling instruction manual. And the worst part is, most of these stories, we never even chose it. They were handed to you by teachers, relatives, your grades, comparisons, competition, and one bad year of academics that turn into lifelong labor. So how to break it? So step 1 is very simple. You have to stop using identity-based language. So identity language sound like this. I'm lazy, I'm bad at this, I'm gonna mess up this, I'm not consistent. Like that. You can tell the most negative things in the world about yourself. This is very bad and affecting every area in your life. And then you have to replace it with state-based language, which means, as an example, I have struggled with consistency before. I am learning how to focus better. I have been productive in the past. and I can be again likewise. So this shift really matters because your brain treats permanent labels very differently than temporary states. So permanent identity shut doors. Temporary states invite solutions. So you're not lying to yourself. You are telling more accurate story than negative self-talk. And now I'm gonna teach you guys about the evidence rewrite method. So your brain does not believe affirmations instantly. It believes evidence. So we use what we call the evidence rewrite, right? So every night, try to write down 3 moments of discipline from that day. They can be like very small things, but that's okay. Nobody really cares. So you can write down this one for like 2 weeks and see the difference. So studied for 10 minutes, like closed an app instead of scrolling, said no when someone asked, and got out of bed early, like that. So then your brain starts noticing patterns you never trained it to see before. So this is how actually identity shifts happens, not through hype, through proof. So evidence beats motivation every single time. Now let's see why goals fail and identity stick. So here's another hard truth, guys. So goals are very fragile, right? It could be break at any moment, at any time. So identities are durable more than goals. So goals depend on your mood, right? But identities it's a guide behavior even when motivation disappears. So instead of saying, I want good grades, you can say this. I am the kind of person who shows up even when it's boring. Instead of, I want to be consistent, say, I'm someone who returns to the task even after failing. So you stop chasing outcomes and start becoming a category. So categories are very powerful, as we know, and your brain loves categories. So once you step into one, your actions start aligning automatically. Then expect resistance. Now, warning, when you try to change your identity, your brain will resist. You will feel so fake, you will feel like you are an imposter, you will feel so uncomfortable. That does not mean it's not working. It means it's new. So growth always feel like identity betrayal at first. It's not comfortable. So your old identity will whisper, who do you think you are? So smile gently and keep going. And please remember that small actions will always do the big identity shifts. You do not need dramatic changes. Identity shifts happens through boring repetition things and learnings. So one focused session, one kept promise, one honest boundary, one written after quitting. You're not trying to become perfect. You are trying to become consistent enough to prove a new story. And once your brain sees the story reported, it lets go of the old one. From this whole video, I wanted to tell you guys that you don't need a new personality. You don't need more motivation, and you don't need to fix yourself, or you don't need a new yourself. You need a new description. You need a new description. Change the label. Change the label that you have labelized yourself and behavior that you follows. So you were never lazy. You're not lazy. You were just living under the wrong name, guys. So let that land. So I hope you guys learned something from this video about identity shifting, because in 2026, identity shifting really matters. Like, if not but, right? So I hope you guys learned something. And if you guys have any question about this, please let me know. I will be so grateful to answer the questions. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. So yeah, bye.